that every day. Day after day. And then we go about trying to change them to be more like us. So if we can learn to understand the differences and learn to communicate with one another on their level, then we can understand the conflicts and it's not so confusing.
Hotel accommodations provided by Le Méridien Chicago, offering contemporary European elegance in the heart of Chicago's Gold Coast. Guests of our show fly our official carrier, American Airlines. American offers daily non-stop service from 7 U.S. gateways to the United Kingdom. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
This is no ordinary maritime auction. It attracted bidders from all around the world to the tune of $10 million. Lights, camera, auction tonight, live at 5.
Now, from the ATV News Center at every city and town in the Maritimes, this is the ATV Evening News, live at 5.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Live at 5 for Tuesday, June 14th. I'm Nancy Regan.
And I'm Bill Jessome, and here are some of the stories our ATV reporters are working on for this evening's show.
I'm Connell Smith in St. John. Coming up, hockey fever.
The Russian Rocket tonight.
Mr. Messier.
Mr. Messier. Kirk McLean, MVP, guaranteed, 5-3, Vancouver, all over tonight.
4-2, empty net, Rangers.
I'm Fonz Jessome in Halifax with a Canucks flag that's ready for waving. We're going to talk to some fanatics about tonight's big game. That's coming up on Live at 5.
Also ahead tonight, a Hollywood legend passed away today. We'll take a look back at a tremendous career later.
And who would you call if your honeymoon plans started to fall apart? We'll meet one maritime couple who came to Yvonne Colbert. ATV's on their side later.
About a month ago.
12 there.
Let's see, he was 12 here.
12 here.
Certainly doesn't look like that now.
No.
And later, the naked truth will uncover the facts to find out how this maritimer made the cover of Playgirl magazine. All this and much more ahead on the Tuesday edition of Live at 5 tonight. Right now, here's Steve Murphy working on the ATV Evening News at 6. Steve.
Thank you, Nancy. Good afternoon, everyone. On your evening news right after Live at 5 tonight, Richard Hatfield's name has come up again at the Miller Inquiry in Fredericton. A former social worker telling the inquiry today that Carl Topp's relationship with friends in high places, including Hatfield, allowed him to sexually abuse boys for as long as he did. We have more on this latest bombshell tonight at 6 o'clock. Also on your evening news tonight, why some Nova Scotia police officers tell Heather Proudfoot they want to see Finance Minister Bernie Boudreau in court. Is it just a publicity stunt or do they have a case? We find out at 6 o'clock. And from Sydney tonight, how a leather jacket led to a bloody beating. We hear from the victim and from police who are investigating the crime. Time now for our first fast look at the maritime weather forecast. Steve Weigel in the ATV Weather Center tonight.
Thanks, Steve. Looks like Maritimers can expect a wet evening with showers and thunder showers and then partial clearing in New Brunswick during the evening. Tomorrow looks warm and humid. I'll give you the complete weather forecast later in the show. Steve?
Okay, Weigels weather at 5:30 and then at 6 o'clock all the day's top stories, including the very latest from Los Angeles, where some reports have football great O.J. Simpson under suspicion in the murder of his ex-wife and a man thought to be her boyfriend. We have the latest developments coming up tonight at the ATV Evening News at 6 o'clock, right after Live at 5, which continues now with Nancy and Bill. Here they are.
Thank you, Steve. And we're putting the fever first at 5 tonight. You know, hockey fever. Fortunately, the cure is in sight. The final game in the '94 Stanley Cup Series takes to the ice tonight.
And Nancy's been a fantastic series, and everyone seems to be talking hockey, hockey, hockey. Connell Smith is standing by in St. John, and he spent the day with some people, and that's all they're talking about, right, Connell?
That's right, Bill. A lot of people looking forward to this game tonight. A lot of friendly banter out there. And, you know, there's one sector of our society that I've always noticed are really, really dedicated sports fans. And, of course, we're talking here about salespeople.
Big game tonight.
Boys, I'm telling you.
History. 4-2 tonight. History.
It's going to be
history in the making tonight. The biggest comeback ever in the game of hockey tonight.
There's a charge in the air at Maple Leaf Motors. Terry O'Leary and Steve Ryan work together, but they're poles apart when it comes to this year's playoffs.
Final score?
5-3 Vancouver.
4-2 Rangers. Empty net goal.
Pavel Bure, hat trick tonight.
Can't see it happening.
If there are any New York Ranger fans, could they please come to the showroom?
At Parkway Mercury, our calls were answered by recently converted Canuck fans.
And you know, any team good enough to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs is good enough to win the Stanley Cup.
I don't like to watch New York win. They've got a stacked deck down there. It would look good on them to lose for the 55th year in a row.
In fact, the only Ranger rooter in the building was strictly in it for the money.
I got three other players in the hockey pool.
Were you a Ranger fan all along?
Nope, Bruins.
While we were there, a brand new Ranger of a different sort was being delivered.
The Ranger's an excellent selling truck. A lot of people have come in the past few days and want a different name on it just until the playoffs are over. But aside from name, yeah, it's a great truck.
Of course, the Chevy's much better truck.
At Brett's Chev Olds, there may be a difference of opinion on the truck, but there's consensus on the hockey team.
Well, I think it's a toss-up. It could be either one, but I'm hoping for Vancouver, of course.
Why?
Just Canadian.
Got the Rangers 4-2.
Meanwhile, Terry and Steve still haven't sorted out their differences.
Brian Leach, MVP.
Kirk McLean, MVP, guaranteed. Guaranteed. 5-3 Vancouver.
4-2 Rangers. It's over. End of story.
For sure.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Now, Nancy, if you listen closely, I think you can still just make out those guys are still arguing. I think they might lose their voice by game time. I asked them what they were going to do later in the week when all this hockey is behind us, and without hesitating, they both said baseball.
Oh, of course. Well, Connell, I have to ask, who are you rooting for tonight?
I didn't have a favorite going into this series, but watching the way Vancouver's been playing, they've really turned it into an unbelievable final, and I find myself rooting for them despite myself.
All right, thanks a lot, Connell.
Thank you.
And there are lots more Maritimers out there suffering from cup fever. Here's Bill.
Thank you, Nancy. Well, it's a hockey fanatic's dream, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Tonight's game is especially important for supporters of the two teams that make it to the final game. Fonz Jessome joins us now with a look at the heady days of this hockey honor. Fonz?
Bill, pretty much any hockey fan will tell you this has been a great series, and whether you're a Rangers fan or a Canucks fan, you'll certainly be able to hold your head high tomorrow. Of course, one of you will be able to hold it just a little higher.
I think Vancouver will win because it's obvious. The last two games, they were the better team, and New York's just choking.
I think Keenan's going to have his boys up for tonight. I don't think they've lost 3 games in a row.
The Hockey Nuts' dream come true. Game 7, and the cup is on the line. Time to forget everything else and focus on the game.
I think we're looking at a possible overtime game tonight to decide this thing. It's going to be like a 2-1 victory, and I think I'm going to go off the wall here and say Leach is going to score the winner.
4-2 Canucks. That's all I can say.
While we might expect the playoffs to be hotly debated in the region's sports bars, they are also being discussed in a lot of other places, like here at the Salon. Are the playoffs a big topic of discussion?
They have been, not so much now for myself since Toronto's been beaten out, but some of my male clients are still pretty interested.
Now, it might be difficult for you hockey fanatics to accept this, but come on, people, it's baseball season. There are a lot of people out there who believe by the middle of June, this whole hockey thing should be over.
I have a mother-in-law and a husband who love hockey. In fact, we have 2 TVs. When we bought our house down here, we had 2 rooms separate with a door. And they go off and watch hockey, and I watch what I want to watch.
So the family will be reunited after tonight?
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's time for the hockey to be over and done with, and it's time to get ready for the ball games because I like the Blue Jays.
Try to convince Brett Smith the season should be over. Probably the region's biggest Canucks fan, Brett has videotapes of Vancouver games shipped to him from BC. He can hardly wait for tonight. What happens if indeed they skate around with that cup at the end of the game?
Well, once I pick myself up off the floor, then I will get in the car, go downtown with my friends and wave this flag behind me. And I've also got a Canucks license plate that I'm going to put on the front of the car.
But what if they lose? What's it going to be like around here if they do lose?
I think I'll take the day off because he'll be very upset. And I think on my way home tonight, I'll stop at the It store and get a soother because he'll need it.
What about if they win? What's it going to be like?
It's going to be vacation time here. It'd be too bad we can do anything. We can get away with it tomorrow, I'll tell you that.
Actually, Brett says he's going to be a good sport one way or the other, win or lose. After all, his team's still in it, and not all of us can say that, Bill.
Wait a minute, Fonz. Is this hockey, or are you covering the back 9? What's going on out there?
It's still hockey.
Anyway, you're a hockey fan from a way back. we know about Toronto, but who do you bet on tonight?
You had to bring up the Leafs. I'm still hurting over that one. I guess I'm a Canadian at heart. I'd like to see the Canucks take the cup.
All right. Nancy, how about that? Who are you rooting for tonight?
Oh, Bill, I'm going to keep that a secret until the end of Live at 5 tonight, okay? I'll tell you then.
Diplomat.
This is a debate that will be put on ice tonight, no question about it. But first, we want to know what you think. Who would you like to see win the Stanley Cup? We're going to open the lines for a Live at 5 telephone poll right now. And the question is, who are you cheering for? If you're cheering for the Vancouver Canucks, the number to call is 1-900-273-0030. That's 1-900-273-0030 to register a vote for the Vancouver Canucks. If, on the other hand, you want to see the New York Rangers take home the Stanley Cup tonight, the number to call is 1-900-273-0031. That's 1-900-273-0031 to vote for the Rangers. Calls cost 50 cents apiece, and the lines will remain open until 5:50 tonight. Or, that's 10 to 6, of course. We'll have the results at the end of Live at 5 this evening. Now, still with hockey, will he stay or will he go? That's a question that's been dogging Rangers head coach Mike Keenan over the course of the Stanley Cup Finals. It's also given the tabloid tattlers in the Big Apple a power play feeding frenzy. But as ATV's Dan Vio tells us from Charlottetown, the Keenan caper began right here in the Maritimes.
Will Coach Mike Keenan leave the New York Rangers and head for the Detroit Red Wings, win or lose in tonight's big game? Keenan says no, but the story he would was broken by little CJRW radio in Summerside. I found manager Paul Skurman at the Special Olympics Sports Celebrity Luncheon today.
When the story first came out, he didn't deny it. The New York Post said that people inside the New York Ranger organization, they would have let him go if in fact he wanted to go. The day before, or the day of the game, he says he's not going. So I guess the story that we ran said that he's going, and that's all I can tell you.
World Series champion Toronto Blue Jays general manager Pat Gillick says heading into the big seventh game, no matter what Keenan's plans, it's not good news for the Rangers.
It takes the focus from what the team's got to do. I don't think that's fair, and I think that anything of this nature, it certainly can't be a help. It's got to be just a bit of a distraction for the players, because I know that probably members of the media are asking questions, well, is Keenan staying, is Keenan leaving?
PEI's AHL Senators Director of Operations Gary Thompson says Keenan will stay, but Vancouver does get an edge in tonight's game.
If they lose, well, hey, he's done a good job all year, and I still think he'll be around next year.
But at Andrews Hockey School, Rob Wood isn't so sure.
I think it's an advantage for New York, because the players are getting the attention thrown away from the pressure of Game 7 on them. And Keenan's got them here by coaching, and now Game 7 comes down to the way the players can perform.
Maybe only Mike Keenan knows for sure where he'll be next season, or maybe it hangs on the outcome of tonight's big game. In Summerside, Dan Vio, ATV News.
Thank you, Dan. And yes, the suspense continues. Here once again are the numbers you need to take part in tonight's Live at 5 telephone poll. The question is, who are you cheering for? To vote for the Canucks, the number is 1-900-273-0030. And to register a vote for the Rangers, it's 1-900-273-0031. Just a reminder that each call costs 50 cents, and lines will remain open until 10 to 6 tonight. We'll tell you what the results are, who Maritimers are pulling for in this Battle of the Titans later.
Great game tonight. All right, coming up, Live at 5 goes to the auction, but it's not old furniture or fancy art for sale, no siree. It's construction equipment, and that has some people concerned.
We're on 12, 11, 5, bidden on 12, 12, 12, we get 12 down, 11, 5, and down 12, 12, 12, we get 12 down, bidden 12, bidden 12, 12, 12, sold 11, 5.
We're on the auction block next on Live at 5.
Silence.
ATV's camera person Sandra Kippa shared her lunch with some baby ducks in Halifax today. It was a good day for ducks. Steve Weigel will be along later to tell us if we can expect some good human weather in the near future. Well, this year's Quebec election is creating problems for the financial markets, but how do those financial jitters affect maritime investors? And is the recent focus on Quebec separation getting out of hand? Well, this evening, Live at 5's Alan Johnson has some of the answers for us. Alan?
Well, Bill, by most accounts, the Canadian economic recovery is into high gear now, and most investors say that it'll likely stay that way as long as the markets don't put too much emphasis on Quebec's separation. They say money makes the world go round, and nobody knows that better than investment advisors like Howard Tingley. Tingley says statistics like last week's positive job numbers in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick please the investment community.
I think there's a confidence area when you start to see the economies move, so it kind of builds consumer confidence. It usually builds investor confidence as well, which is good.
But ever since Lucien Bouchard began taking his Quebec separatist message to world capitals, Canada's future has been called into question. And that has some investors pulling their money out of Canada, most recently the Japanese. Communication is the key when it comes to global investment. So Tingley has invited 3 international money managers to speak here in Moncton tomorrow.
And so many times we don't look at ourselves like foreign investors would. And so many times I think when they look at Canada, the picture's not as bad as maybe we see from inside.
But how do maritime money watchers feel about Quebec separation scaring away investors?
The PQ may take the next election, but when it comes to a referendum, I don't think people will accept that. So, Japanese, I don't think they should be too concerned about it.
We'd suffer some economic crunches in the beginning, but I think maybe even if it did happen, it would all work out eventually.
I guess if I were another country, I would be worried, and maybe that'll push Quebec to think about, a little bit more. Are we serious about separating?
So, Bill, it appears Maritimers are ready to call Quebec's bluff. They figure the maritime financial community would survive a slight crunch if Quebec were to separate, and that's what it's being seen as at this point, as just a slight crunch. Nothing too serious, nothing lasting.
Okay, Alan, another question for you. Over Quebec's separation, what is it causing as far as a weaker dollar is concerned?
Well, a lot of the investors and investment houses I spoke with today are talking 68, 69 cent Canadian dollar by the time the Quebec election rolls around this fall. But that's not scaring them. Like I say, they see that as temporary, and also they're looking at the export side of things, and you look at how much raw material Canada could export to the U.S. with the 68, 69 cent dollar. The figures are staggering, and good news job-wise for this region especially.
Thank you, Alan. In the end, time will tell, of course.
I guess so. Thanks.
Right. Nancy?
Thank you, Bill. Well, our next story could be a grim economic indicator. About 1,500 people from all over North America and from as far away as Japan and Peru got together in Debert, Nova Scotia today to do a little business to the tune of $10 million. Construction equipment from the Maritimes was auctioned off, and with it, the jobs that went with them. ATV's Janet Stewart was there and brings us the story.
6,000 follow me, 6,000 welcome and say, $6,000. Rick follow me and say, 6,000.
There's a surplus of equipment in the Maritime. There's less work to do, but there's also lots of equipment to do it with. And the contractors are just finding they have a surplus of equipment and getting rid of it.
This equipment used to build maritime roads and buildings. With the recession and government cutbacks, a lot of these trucks have been sitting idle. But here at the auction, business is booming. This stuff is going fast, but the problem is, it's going away.
What are you doing here today?
Well, see if there's any buys, but there aren't today.
Why not?
I think our American friends appreciate the value of their dollar, so they're taking advantage of the auction here. And
they don't have that hospital tax down there, and they don't have that GST down there, so there's 18% right off the bat, plus the exchange in the dollar, that they got advantage over us Canadians.
Well, the dollar is strong up here in Canada this year, and I want to take advantage of it.
So what kind of a deal would you get? If you bought something for 100,000 Canadian dollars, how much would you be paying in American?
Well, that would be 100,000 Canadian dollars. I'd be paying about 72% of that.
So $70,000.
$70,000, right.
That gives you a real advantage, doesn't it?
It does.
How much of this stuff do you expect to be going to the States?
I would say at least 50 to 60% of it will leave Maritime Canada. Where it goes from there, I'm not sure.
Somebody told me that as much as 85% in the past has gone to the States. Is that accurate?
Not at 75 to 85, yeah.
This rock truck once moved fill for the 4-lane highway that runs near here. Today it was sold. The New Glasgow man who sold it got a good price, $130,000. Now the truck's on its way to New England, where the construction business is booming.
In Debert, Janet Stewart, ATV News.
Thank you, Janet. These days, every indicator counts. Everybody's watching the economy very closely. Well, coming up next on Live at 5, we'll look back at the amazing career of composer Henry Mancini. That's when Live at 5 returns.
A Nissan pickup with more horsepower and payload costs $1,200 less than a Ford Ranger. But we know you'll find somewhere to put the extra cash. The Nissan Hardbody Pickup. Wouldn't you enjoy driving a Nissan Sentra that's better equipped than a Honda Civic? Especially since it costs $1,100 less. The Sentra from Nissan.
The Simpsons, Canada's largest family, now own a restaurant.
Where's the lettuce?
We're out of lettuce.
It's a busy place, so on occasion they get headaches.
We're out of lettuce?
Real headaches.
We are out of lettuce.
That's why they use Anison. Anison, strong enough for your worst headaches.
Introducing Arby's new chicken fingers. Big whole strips of real white meat chicken breast, specially seasoned, cooked golden brown. Arby's chicken fingers are just like the chicken fingers you'll find at popular trendy restaurants. Well, with a few differences. Try the new chicken fingers. Only at Arby's.
The shocking truth about electricity. Tree cutting operations are vital. When these operations are conducted near electrical wires, proper clearance between the two must be maintained. Should a tree or equipment come in contact with electrical wires, stay clear, keep others clear, and call your local utility. High-tension wires carry extremely high voltages and can kill in an instant. Don't let this happen to you. A safety message from your electric utility.
Well, Dinah White's favorite letters at the moment are undoubtedly M-O-M. The game show hostess gave birth on the weekend to their first baby. Vanna and her husband, restaurateur George Santopietro, welcomed an 8-pound boy Saturday at a Los Angeles hospital. White has been a letter turner for Wheel of Fortune since 1982. Nice lady, right?
Not bad work if you can get it. And for many actors, the premiere of a new film is like having a baby.
Jackie, you under there?
Is this where they wanted us at?
The world premiere of the motion picture Wolf was last night in Boston. Wolf star Jack Nicholson himself attended the screening. Nicholson was joined by actor Ted Danson and rock and roll musician Don Henley. The premiere served as a benefit for the Walden Woods Project, Don Henley's pet project, to raise money to save the property in Massachusetts Henry David Thoreau made famous in writings a century ago.
And Nancy, some very sad news from the entertainment world this evening. Henry Mancini died today at his Beverly Hills home of complications from liver and pancreatic cancer. He will forever be linked to such classics as Moon River and the Pink Panther theme. He wrote the scores for more than 100 movies during his 40-year career, earning 20 Grammy Awards, 4 Academy Awards, 2 Emmys, and even a Golden Globe. Some other Mancini tunes included the theme from Peter Gunn and Baby Elephant Walk. Henry Mancini was 70 years old.
A tremendous talent, no question. Well, it's time to check out our milestone file for Tuesday, June 14th. We start off tonight with Seward and Mary Grover of Goshen, Guysborough County. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary today. Love from 3 sons and their families, including 4 grandchildren. They'll be celebrating Saturday afternoon at the Goshen Community Center. Congratulations to Agnes and Charles McAvoy of Herring Cove, Nova Scotia. They're marking their 50th anniversary today. A dinner and dance in their honor was held over the weekend. Best wishes from family and friends.
And Austin and Retta Singer of Dartmouth are celebrating their golden anniversary today. Best wishes from their 3 children and 7 grandchildren. Happy 60th anniversary greetings go out today to Gerald and Bernadine Ford of Belle Isle Creek, New Brunswick. Love from 6 children, 10 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. Loga and Bertha Brown of Mapleton, Nova Scotia are also marking 60 years together today. They have 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and 11 great-grandchildren who are hosting a celebration for them Saturday at the Senior Center in Spring Hill. So, congratulations to our milestone couples. And if you are marking a special event in your life, all the very best from all of us here in the newsroom.
All right. And here once again are the numbers you need to take part in tonight's Live at 5 telephone poll on ice. The question is, who are you cheering for in the Stanley Cup final tonight? If you'd like to register a vote for the Canucks, the number is 1-900-273-0030. If, on the other hand, you're cheering for the Rangers, the number is 1-900-273-0031. Just a reminder that calls cost 50 cents apiece. The lines remain open until 10 to 6 tonight, and we'll have the results tonight at the end of Live at 5. There's lots more to come in the second half of Live at 5, including meteorologist Steve Weigel with the complete maritime weather picture.
And we also have these stories coming up.
Planning a honeymoon has turned out to be more difficult than this couple thought, so they turn to On Your Side for help. I'm Yvonne Colbert, and their story is coming up later tonight on Live at 5.
I'm Ron Sean Moncton, where a local boy could be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll have more later on Live at 5.
According to... Also still ahead, is it possible to lose weight using your sense of smell? We've got the olfactory details later on Live at 5. Stay with us.
Rather than simply reading to your kids about a storybook land, perhaps you should take them to one.
Morning's here, the world's alive. It's time to make our way. We keep sharing all our dreams, growing stronger every day. We take pride in everything we do. The service and smiles are just for you. It's Metro. You'll always feel at home. Do you have a craving for seafood?
Hot eats, cool treats at Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen has gone to great depths to bring you good taste. An all-new delicacy from the sea. A basket full of Digby scallops with sauce for dipping and fries on the side. Digby scallops, tender and juicy. A maritime favorite, specially priced for you all summer long.
Hot eats, cool treats, we treat you right.
Fill your summertime with a good time in Summerside. Enjoy our heritage, our waterfront spectacles, and our festivals. A summertime good time. It's a sure thing in Summerside, Prince Edward Island.
What's this then? Oatmeal crisp? Ah, no oatmeal, and this isn't it. Aye, real oatmeal should be thick enough to stop a bullet. And all these great crispy flakes. What good's that?
Crispy rolled oat flakes with a taste of brown sugar, with raisins or almonds.
It's not like any oatmeal I've ever seen before. Mind you, it's not like any oatmeal I've ever tasted before either.
Oatmeal crisp. The name says oatmeal. The taste says delicious.
It's a bonny cereal, but it's not oatmeal.
There's the view right now from our ATV News Live Eye in Halifax, Dartmouth, Halifax Harbor in the rain.
And it's raining all over.
Very nice. Well, let's see if we can clear up some of that rain. Here is ATV meteorologist Steve Weigel. Steve, what have you got for us?
Thanks, guys. We have interesting weather coming our way. In fact, we've got very humid weather, very warm weather headed our way across the Maritimes with a southerly flow across the region. Let's start off first with a look at the big satellite photo up over North America. We've got a system which is still over the Maritimes as we speak, but it's pushing off into Newfoundland and Labrador and off into the Atlantic. In behind that, clear skies for the most part, a bit of cloud, and that'll be our weather maker for tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. By the end of the day, right across the region, a few cloudy periods. Back to the west farther, some intense weather through parts of Ontario. A big low-pressure system extending right back into BC. Cool temperatures through Alberta. In fact, they had a hard time reaching the double digits today across most of Alberta. Very cool weather indeed. Through most of the U.S., we've got mainly clear skies right from the west to the east coast with a bit of scattered showers and thunder showers in southern regions. Here's the jet stream, and we can see that mainly warm temperatures will pervade through the east coast, but cooler temperatures through the west coast tomorrow across the country. So then let's take a look at our close-up of the Maritimes, and we have a lot of cloud and precipitation, but most of it's pushed off, although there are some thunder showers and showers being reported through Nova Scotia, and they'll push through during the night tonight. We could see thunder showers through Halifax and parts of Cape Breton. In the next few hours, showers through New Brunswick and PEI also, with a little bit of hangback cloud and precipitation with that. It's all pushing east, though, and we got a ridge in behind that with mainly clear skies for tomorrow. Here's the loop, and we can see that mainly patchy cloud for yesterday, and the system pushes in during the night, last night and through the day today, gave us quite a bit of rain, up to 35 millimeters of rain in some areas, and a system back to the west, clear skies will push in for tomorrow. So the forecast then overnight in the Maritimes, any showers and cloud across New Brunswick will push out. The showers will end in Nova Scotia during the night, and we'll see mainly clear skies through New Brunswick, mainly cloudy skies through Prince Edward Island and Cape Breton. Nova Scotia and PEI make that, and the foggy night. Warm temperatures, though, 14 to 15 in New Brunswick, 15 for Prince Edward Island, and 14s and 15s for Nova Scotia during the night. And then tomorrow we have clear skies, beautiful sunny weather for New Brunswick. Clouds and fog, though, for the morning and early afternoon in Nova Scotia and PEI, but that burns off by the late afternoon, and sunny skies right across the region. Warm temperatures 24 to 28 in New Brunswick, 25 to 27 across Nova Scotia and PEI. And as we head into the weekend, another beautiful day on Thursday, up to 28 degrees, even warmer. Mainly sunny skies for Friday, although some afternoon showers and thunder showers, and then showers and thunder showers for Saturday and 24. Nance.
Thanks a lot, Steve. I'm here again with my new little friend. This little guy is responsible for teaching children and their parents about the importance of using sunscreen to protect skin from dangerous ultraviolet rays. He is the Canadian Cancer Society's Slip, Slap, Slop SunSense mascot, but as I said last night, that's much too hard to pronounce, so he needs a new name. We're counting on our Live at 5 viewers to come up with one for him. If you have an idea, we'd like you to send us a letter with your suggestion to Live at 5 SunSense Contest, P.O. Box 9321, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3K 5N5. Now, if you send us a suggestion, you could win. Every day next week, we're going to be learning about SunSense, and every day next week, we're going to be giving away 10 of these terrific T-shirts. There he is right there, our little friend. They're children's T-shirts, and they're decorated with a special paint that is sun-sensitive. So let's see if it works tonight. When they're exposed to the sun's rays, the color comes out. I hope you can see this at home. If you're watching a black and white TV, we're in trouble. As you see, this turns green and this turns pink. And when it's exposed to the sun's rays, it is even more effective. It's just another reminder of how important it is to put sunscreen on because of the damaging effect of the sun's rays. We'll be giving away 10 of these each day next week, choosing from the letters that are sent in to us. And you can also win by choosing the most creative name for this dog. If you name him, you win him, okay? You get that stuffed mascot. Here, once again, is the address you need to take part. ATV Live at 5, SunSense Contest, P.O. Box 9321, Halifax, Nova Scotia. The postal code is B3K 5N5. Good luck. Here's Bill.
Thank you, Nancy. Well, it's time to be counted, time to step out. Who are you cheering for? Now, with the big game tonight, if you're cheering for the Vancouver Canucks, the number to call is 1-900-273-0030. That's 1-900-273-0030 to register a vote for the Canucks. If, on the other hand, you want to see the New York Rangers take home the Stanley Cup this evening, the number to call is 1-900-273-0031. That's 1-900-273-0031 to vote for the Rangers. Calls cost 50 cents each, and the lines will remain open until 5:50 or 10 to 6 tonight, and we'll have the results at the end of Live at 5. And up next on Live at 5, Yvonne Colbert's On the Side of Love.
One of the teachers at my school said, well, I found out my brother-in-law called, and he's not playing anywhere. He's not booked this summer at all. We had no plan B. So we had no honeymoon plans. Yeah.
What I like...
95. Test drive one today at McDonald Pontiac Buick Monkey.
Well, it's a touch tank. All right, Nova Scotia's only manually swinging bridge is back in business for another boating season. Bridge keeper Bob Martell provides the muscle for the Myra Gut Bridge operation. The bridge spans both the entrance to the Myra River and the exit to the Atlantic Ocean. Pleasure boaters and inshore fishermen travel through the bridge opening to get where they are going. And I am going over to Steve Murphy to find out what you're working on at 6 o'clock tonight.
Okay, Bill, here's what's coming up in your evening news tonight at 6 o'clock. A former social worker has told the Miller Inquiry that Carl Topp's relationship with people like Richard Hatfield allowed him to victimize boys for as long as he did. Justice Richard Miller responded saying people involved with this case involving Toft did not do enough. We have more at 6 o'clock. Also on your evening news tonight, the victim's mother spent another day on the stand at the George Pitt murder trial. He's charged with the sex slaying of 6-year-old Samantha Dawn Toole. Latest from the courthouse coming up in your evening news tonight. And from Los Angeles, O.J. Simpson has met with his attorney today amid reports of a bloodied glove found at the Hall of Famer's home. He's been questioned about the murder of his ex-wife and another man. One source close to the case says Simpson's release from custody yesterday was merely temporary. We have the very latest coming up tonight on the ATV Evening News. And on a happier note, HMCS Preservers wrapped up a 5-month tour of duty with a happy reunion and a couple of first-time meetings dockside. We've got the stories coming up in your evening news at 6, right after Live at 5, which continues now on your side.
Thank you, Steve. It is time now for ATV on your side with Yvonne Colbert. And tonight, the story of a couple who turned to Yvonne for help with their honeymoon plans.
Now, not that this couple doesn't know what to do on their honeymoon, Nancy, but as part of their plans, they wanted to attend a James Taylor concert.
I think we just want to get it over with.
And no wonder. The big day for Kathy McNeil and Glenn Stone is now just a couple of weeks away. But they've been planning it for 2 years now.
This is a package from the marriage course we took.
The only loose end at this point is where they will spend their honeymoon. But they are clear on what they want to do. Was it hard to decide that for your honeymoon what you wanted was to go see a James Taylor concert? I mean, was there any discussion of that, or was it a foregone conclusion?
I think I mentioned it, and I think it was just, yeah, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
There was no problem, no thinking about it.
After that, we just decided that's what we wanted to do, and as long as we can find out where he is and when he is, if it fits into our summer schedule, then that would be great.
But finding out about James Taylor concerts proved to be a tough job, even with friends helping with the search.
We had 3 or 4 or 5 people on the track trying to find out and not getting a whole lot of feedback. And then one of the teachers at my school said, well, I found out my brother-in-law called and he's not playing anywhere. He's not booked this summer at all. We had no plan B. So we had no honeymoon plans.
So they turned to On Your Side for help. The first call was to James Taylor's record label, Sony. Then I was sent to Sony in Toronto. So there are no James Taylor concerts anywhere in North America this summer. You're sure about that? Is it possible for me to double-check that with someone at Sony in the United States? But when I called Sony in New York, the response was less than enthusiastic. Well, if it's not your job to give me the information, whose job might it be? I was then told to call a non-existent magazine in Fresno, California. Then I called back Sony in Toronto. I've talked to Sony in the United States, but gotten no information from them, and surely someone there is able to provide me with information on his concerts this summer. Finally, I got a list of James Taylor's concert dates.
It was just exciting enough when you called and said, guess what I have in my hand? I have the list of where he's playing. Great! That was the big plus, because now we know he's playing somewhere, and he's booked for 2.5 months. So at least we have a chance.
It's like a lifelong dream, really, because like I said.
Dream come true, perhaps, but it hasn't come true yet. I'm joined by Kathy and Glenn, who are going to be married on July 1st, and we still don't have tickets for them. There's a lot more to this story than what you just saw on the air, and even though we got the concert dates, I've called and called and called and called, and unfortunately I had to tell you that they're all sold out. That must have been disappointing for you.
Yes, it was. We really wanted to go.
Yeah, we've gone through a lot trying to get these darn tickets. And as it turns out, even though they were sold out, there was one concert in Philadelphia that you checked on that hadn't been booked yet. So I had assured you, by the time you came in this evening, I would have information on whether that concert was really going ahead, so you could make plans to attend it and perhaps try to get tickets. The bad news is that I've been unable to find out anything about that darn concert. I've been calling and just got absolutely nowhere. So what I'm hoping, Kathy, is that this will do instead. Okay? So I'd like for you to open that up for me. Take a peek. See what's inside. Okay. We have to talk, Glenn, while she's doing the work. We can't have dead air. So we'll get her to open it up, take a peek. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh yes, you're a good liar.
No, these are 2 tickets to see James Taylor in concert at Great Woods in Mansfield, Massachusetts on August 25th, which was actually your first choice for your honeymoon plans. And look, I didn't open the envelope when I got it. You know, all I had to do was call James Taylor's publicist and say, listen, this couple are really big fans. They want to go see him on their honeymoon. And I called back the next day. They said it's been approved. The tickets are in the mail. And it's Section 2. And they said that you guys are going to be guests of James Taylor at this concert. So I certainly hope that this goes a long way towards making your honeymoon a happy one.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I have something for you.
For me?
We were hoping something would come of this. We didn't really know what would come of it, but we have an invitation for you to please come to our wedding.
Oh, thank you.
We hope you will.
Thank you. But I'm really, really hoping that you enjoy the concert and have a great time.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
It's
enjoy.
great.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You were supposed to cry. Glenn said you would.
Well, I'm saving that for the 1st of July, I guess.
I hope you have a very happy marriage. Now, if you would like to drop me a line or get a hold of me, if you have a problem that perhaps you'd like to have solved, you can call area code 902. The number is 493-3404, and you can leave a brief message on the machine, or you can write Post Office Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Postal code is B3J2Z4. Now over to Bill and Nancy.
Thanks a lot, Yvonne. That's a great story. And Glenn, I guess you can kiss the bride now. Good reason to celebrate.
Coming up, a local boy makes good. Well, sort of.
Whatever you call it, he's not on the cover of Rolling Stone, but he is on the cover of another well-known national magazine.
He's getting to be well-known actor, I guess. From what I know, that's about it.
We'll uncover the details next on Live at 5.
57 arrests, assisted at 57 arrests here in the city.
The St. John Police Department were presented with their new police dog, Tell, last night at City Council. The NB Tell Pioneers purchased a $5,000 dog for the department from Czechoslovakia. The department's last dog retired after 5 years. Tell will be ready for active duty in about a month, as soon as he learns to bark English, I guess.
All right, thanks, Bill. Well, police dogs are known for their sense of smell. Now here's some news for dieters. Your sense of smell could help you take off some unwanted pounds.
Very good.
When I started, I was over 250 pounds.
All my life, I've had a problem with my weight. And when I was in 1st grade, the doctor put me on a diet. And this is the easiest that we've ever had. I mean, you've gone from starvation to eating special foods and all that. And this, you just sniff it or inhale it whenever you feel the hunger, and it takes the hunger away.
Candy Steinbauer and her husband are losing weight by sniffing off the pounds. They're part of a study by this Chicago doctor. The basic premise is sniffing certain scents seems to trick your brain and make you feel
there's
full.
a direct connection between the olfactory bulb at the top of the nose and the area of the brain that makes you feel filled.
According to Dr. Hirsch, this is an effective method of weight loss, even for people who've tried all sorts of diets and failed. And they have all sorts of different scents there, Bill, from banana to chocolate. But they say that when they did try and have people smell just a chocolate bar, all the people in the study smelled it and then ate it.
That's right.
So it just has to be a fake smell.
Sure.
You would too, right?
Absolutely. As soon as I smell a chocolate bar, Maple Buds are my favorite. Anyway, I don't have to worry about my weight. Hey, step aside, Arnold. Here comes Shane. Shane who? Well, Shane Miner, the man who may be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's from Moncton, and it appears he's about to hit the big time. Ron Shaw has that story.
The road's clear, we go for drive.
It took Shane Miner 15 years of hard work to become an overnight success. In his hometown, some people know who he is, some don't. Who is Shane Miner?
I have no idea. I don't know. No.
He's a bodybuilder.
Oh, he's Mr. Moncton or something. He was Mr. Universe. He's from Moncton? Mr. USA?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Shane Miner, he's a bodybuilder. Well-known, he's getting to be well-known actor, I guess. From what I know, that's about it.
Don't know. Don't have a clue. Never heard the name before. Am I supposed to know?
This is Shane Miner in publicity photos, and his career has taken off. First as a bodybuilder, now as a male model, and this fall, actor.
Shane always had a natural ability. He was the Arnold Schwarzenegger, in my opinion, of Moncton, but he never entered any local competitions here in Moncton. I think he went to Ontario.
He eventually became Mr. USA. That was when Playgirl asked him to pose for their July edition. Now, it's not exactly my cup of tea, but there are lots of pictures of Shane Miner in this edition of Playgirl, most of which we can't show you on TV, but we can show you the cover. I could look like this with a little work, with a lot of work. Maybe never.
Is Shane, when he be about 12 there?
Let's see, he was 12 here.
12 here,
Certainly doesn't look like that now.
No. And there he is there. That would be taken 4 years ago when he was home to visit my grandmother. And this is a picture of him working out in the DAP gym earlier in his career.
Before all that, there was hockey, once a national championship. Now the breakaways are coming fast and furious for Shane, and it sounds like he deserves it.
He's just a really all-around nice guy. Anybody that would talk to you about Shane just says the same thing. He's just a real homebody, gentle. He might be large, but he's very, very gentle in his mannerism and with people.
In Moncton, Ron Shaw, ATV News.
Well, thank you, Ron. Now, is that ever a career you considered pursuing?
Ron Shaw's career?
No. Good answer. Good answer. Live at 5 continues in just a moment. Who are Maritimers hoping for in the Stanley Cup final tonight? We'll find out with the Live at 5, results rather of our latest Live at 5 telephone poll. And Steve Weagle's wake-up weather is also just ahead. Stay with us.
A lot of car companies want you to see all new.
I know where that is. That's Halifax Harbor. And that steamer's going out with Edward G. Robinson, Humphrey Bogart. They're all going to lobster dinner.
Through the fog.
Listen, from the best coast to the west coast, right?
That's right, Bill. Vancouver police will be taking few chances tonight as that city braces for what is expected to be a massive Stanley Cup victory party tonight. Linda Aylesworth has our story.
Let the calm fool you. There's a storm brewing. Saturday night, just after the Canucks tied up the series, no building could contain the enthusiasm. The fans took to the streets en masse.
The crowd was extremely well behaved. When you're looking at 60,000 plus people in a small downtown area, such as was the case on Saturday night, the potential for problems is huge.
In spite of the emotion and the crush, police only made 2 arrests. One fan received minor injuries when he toppled from his perch. It was the broken window pane that made merchants nervous.
I think we're going to be closing down early, like about 6 o'clock, because we know it's going to get crazy down here.
Probably close the store a bit early. Maybe take out some stuff from the windows.
I could see it getting out of hand really fast. That could happen, so, you know, I think we're going to lock up and keep the whole place well protected.
Will the Canucks clinch the Stanley Cup? Of course. We can even tell you the score.
4-2.
4-2, they're going to win.
Canucks.
No doubt. 4-2.
4-2.
We're confident that there will be a win, and the celebration will even be bigger and better as a result.
All right, obviously the folks in Vancouver believe that the Canucks are going to take home the Stanley Cup tonight. But what do Maritimers think? We have the results now of our Live at 5 telephone poll. We had a total number of calls, 2,225. Of that number, woohoo, 1,750 voted for the Canucks. 475 Maritimers who called us said they're hoping for the Rangers to win tonight. Bill, does that surprise you?
No, not at all.
No? Are you hoping for the Canucks?
Yeah, sure, Canadian. Why not? Why not? Why New York Rangers?
Oh, I think it's great to see the Canucks in there, and they've fought this series so hard. As Jessome pointed out earlier, they've fought a valiant battle.
I think when I was a little kid, I watched the night game in 1940.
The one the Rangers won, the last time. Okay, let's see if we can pull it off tonight. Thanks for taking part in our phone poll. Here's Steve Weigel with the wake-up weather. Steve.
Thanks, guys. I hope the Canucks win tonight. Weather-wise, across the region, we'll see showers and rain and thunder showers across most of the region, but it's pushing out during the night. Here's the big satellite photo. Clear skies in behind that, and that'll push into the region later tonight and tomorrow. Here it is, the close-up, and most of the cloud and precipitation has pushed off, and a little bit of clearing has already started in behind that. So, the wake-up weather for New Brunswick, mainly clear skies when we wake up, and for Nova Scotia and PEI, cloudy skies, 14 to 15. For wake-up temperatures, very warm wake-up temperatures. And then tomorrow's weather, sunny skies right across the region, a few afternoon clouds, 24 to 28 for daytime highs. A fantastic day, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Prime time, 6:30 tonight, full house. And then here's a great show coming up at 7 o'clock for every member of the family, The Lion King, a musical journey with Elton John. Then at 7:30, full house. Unsolved Mysteries at 8. Rescue 911 at 9. Roseanne at 10, John Larroquette at 10:30, and NYPD Blue at 11 o'clock. Nancy?
Then on the midweek edition of Live at 5, it's a virus that affects both children and adults, and for some, the complications can be serious. So how do you know if you're at risk, and how can you protect yourself and your children? We've got the story and the details tomorrow, Live at 5. Thanks very much for joining us for this edition of Live at 5. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Nancy. Enjoyed it.
All right. The news continues now with Steve Murphy. Steve.
Thank you. Tonight, who he knew. Carl Toft had friends in high places.
Carl Toft had friends in the system.
And still on the subject of your money, the Bank of Canada rate is up today to 6.42%. It's up a bit more than many of the experts had expected as well. 16 basis points is the increase. The increase today to support the Dipsy Doodle